profession. He's an author and he's also a life skill coach. He paid his flight tickets from Chennai to Trivandrum and back and spent everything for this journey. So that shows his commitment and passion towards his profession. I warmly welcome Sagar Ashok Makwana. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shashi sir. One thing I forgot to mention is that this is the last speech of the day. Okay? And as a speaker, I can tell you, there are two slots you always want. One is before the lunch, and one is at the last. Because one, people know that they're going to eat food, and the second one, they know that, okay, it's all over. And I want to thank Shashi Kumar sir for giving me that slot. But before that, I also want to thank, and as a speaker, it's good to go after people like Bandita and Dr. TPS because it makes your life easier. Yes or no, my dear friends? So can I have a big round of applause for them once, please? Thank you so much. Peace. When I first got to know that I'm going to be speaking about this topic, I was both honored and scared. Because I knew that I was going to be speaking in front of eminent people like all of you. And so before I start, I want to first bow down my head in gratitude to all of you. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for having that faith in me for me to stand here. Once I kept those emotions aside, I tried to understand peace from someone else's perspective before I could think about peace myself. I went to my 65-year-old watchman. His name is Ramachandran. And I asked him in Tamil, what do you understand by peace? You know what he said? He said, sir, after a hard day of work, when I'm about to go to sleep, and I know that I'm going to get a good sleep, I am at peace. I went to my mother and I asked her, Mom, what do you understand by peace? My mom said, Sagar, when I know that my family is happy, healthy, and safe, I am at peace. I then went to the most important person in my life, my wife. And I asked her, what is peace for her? And you know what she said? It's Sagar, when you and our 5-year-old son Arav have slept, and I know now no one is going to pester me, I am at peace. I even asked my friend Aarti. She has spent 23 years in the Air Force and retired as the wing commander of the Air Force, what peace meant to her. And she said, Sagar, when I know that I've served my country to the best way that I could, and that because of that, my country is safe, my friends are safe, I am at peace. I even went to my 5-year-old son. I said, Arav, do you want peace? To my surprise, he said, yes, I want peace. I said, what peace do you want? He said, Mama has kept a piece of cake in the fridge. I want that peace. And that's when I realized that the meaning of peace is different for different people. And then I asked myself, can I actually define peace? Can we objectively define peace and in a very universal way? The question hit me very hard. But one day, right here in Chantigiri Ashram, when I was sitting at the feet of my Guru, the answer came to me in the way of 3 stories. 3 stories and 3 takeaways that I want to share with you all right now. The first story is about a saint who was taking a bath in the river. And there was this man on the riverside just observing the saint, and he could see that the saint was very peaceful. As soon as the saint came out, the man asked the saint, my dear saint, how was your swim? The saint said, the swim? It was the most beautiful time I had today. I could hear the birds chirping. I could feel the bushes swaying. I could feel the beauty of the nature around me. I could feel the sun putting down its warmth on my body. I felt at peace, he said. The man said, wow, I want some of that. Let me go inside for a swim and experience this peace that this man is talking about. So he went inside, and about half an hour later, he came out cursing the saint. He said, you fool, you said you were at peace within. I went inside the river, I was searching for this peace, nothing happened. I couldn't hear the birds chirp, I couldn't see the sun shining, I couldn't see the nature being beautiful. What is this peace that you're talking about? I could not get it. And that's when the saint said, my dear friend, if you want to be at peace with yourself, then you need to just be. And that was the first lesson that I learned about peace. And the most important one, by the way, is that if you want to be at peace with yourself, you need to just be. Just be regardless of the environment around you. Just be regardless of the problems that you're facing. Just be regardless of what you think is right and wrong. But I also realized that just being at peace with yourself sometimes isn't enough, right? Ask any married person, man or woman, by the way, and they'll tell you how being at peace with yourself is just not enough, right? Because whether we are at work, whether we are at home, whether we are in the society, we're constantly surrounded by people, yes or no? Yeah? Now, when we're constantly surrounded by people, we also should learn how to be at peace with others. But how do you do that? And to understand this particular thought, I went back to my childhood. When I was about 15 years old, me and my friends were playing somewhere, and it so happened that one of the people had an argument with me, and he slapped me very hard in front of other people. I didn't do anything. I just ran away from that place and went to my home crying. My father, seeing all of this, asked me, Sagar, why are you crying? Because I didn't say anything, he asked me again, Sagar, why are you crying? Are you crying because that person slapped you? I said, no, I'm crying because I didn't slap him back. My dad said, okay, but why didn't you slap him back? And I said, because I didn't feel like it. My dad smiled at me and said, and Sagar, be happy that you have learned to be at peace with others. I said, peace with others? What does that even mean? And my dad said, listen to this. A few years ago, when I wanted to start my own business, I went out and asked for a very close friend of mine some money. And instead of giving me money or not giving me money, this is what the guy said. Ashok, I don't have money to give you. If you want to start your own business, you sell all of your wife's jewelry and start a business. I don't care. I said, then what happened? My dad said, nothing happened. I did what he said and I started my business. I said, what? And what about that person? Do you still hate him? Did you cut ties with him? Did you get a chance to get your revenge with him? My father looked at me and smiled. No, Sagar. In fact, we had dinner with him just last night. That person was none other than Manoj uncle. I was, what? How can you have dinner with that person after he has done what he has done to you? How can you be at peace with him? And that's when my dad said, Sagar, when you be the way you are, regardless of the other person, how they treat you, you are at peace with them. Just like how you didn't slap your friend back. You see, Manoj uncle did what he did because of who he was. And maybe he was not at peace with his money. But I am. And I can't change him. The only thing that I can do is I can just let him be. In that way, even if he is not at peace with his money, at least I am at peace with him. And that's when I learned the second lesson about being at peace, is that if you want to be at peace with other people, you need to just let them be. Just let them be regardless of their flaws or their accomplishments. Just let them be regardless of their insecurities or their strengths. Just let them be regardless of their hate or their love. Just let them be. But I didn't stop there. I had one more question to ask. And I'm sure all of you are burning with the same question. Like, Sagar, it's good to know that I'm at peace and I'm at peace with others. But how can I invite others to be at peace? How can I encourage others to walk on the same path of peace that I have been walking on? And the answer to that came to me through an incident that happened to me when I was over 21 years old. Manoj uncle now decided to expand his business. And would you believe it? He went to my father asking for money. And this is the conversation I had with him on that day. You are seriously not going to give him money, are you? I asked my dad. My dad, he just smiled. I said, why are you smiling? Tell me you're not going to give him money. See, you're not a millionaire. You don't have a lot of money lying around, okay? Why would you give him money after he did what he did to you? He said, Sagar, what he did to me is irrelevant to me. What I want to do is what's important to me. And what I want to do is to help him. But what if he doesn't return the money? I almost cried. He said, Sagar, I'm not giving him money so that he can return it to me. I'm giving him money because he needs it right now. I remember shaking my head so vigorously, banging my head against my head, and I was like, I can't do anything about this man. I left the room. My dad eventually gave money to Manoj uncle, not once, not twice, but thrice in the next 5 years. And it every single time pinched me a little. But here's what happened after that. Manoj uncle, business went well. He returned most of my dad's money, but not just that. He also started giving money to other people who were in need. He also took care of families. Even today, he takes care of a couple of families that I know. Maybe he was finally at peace with his money. And that's when I learned the third and the final lesson about being at peace is that if you want to invite others to be at peace, you need to give first. But you need to give without seeking to receive. And when you give without seeking to receive, you make the other person contemplate as to what he did to deserve all of this. And in turn, he feels like giving and thus be at peace. And trust me, it's not just money that you can give without seeking to receive. Knowledge, love, compassion, and above all, forgiveness. With that, let me just once again summarize the 3 learnings that I've learned about peace. The first one is that if you want to be at peace with yourself, just be. If you want to be at peace with others, just let them be. And if you want to invite others to be at peace, then just give without seeking to receive. And let me conclude by telling you this, that each step is harder than the last. Because giving without seeking to receive is the most difficult and yet the most noble thing that you can do. Because you have to let go of your ego there. And blessed are those who believe that the whole world is one. And know that there is nothing in this world worth ruining our peace over. After all of us are here just on borrowed time. And that's why this message of peace, I don't want to give it for one and all. I want to give it just for the one. For aren't we all one? In love, in kindness, and in peace? My dear friends, let's take this small pledge together. Let us at least try to just be, to let them be, and to give without seeking to receive.
Thanks a lot, sir, for